Like good pastors, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the evangelists, would pick out different primary themes from the life of Christ to emphasize to their particular communities what they felt they needed to hear, to encourage them, to strengthen them, to exhort them about the good news, so that they could truly live the life that God intended for them, to be filled with the Spirit of the risen Savior. And so each one of these Gospels have different sub-themes. So for example, the Gospel of Luke is often referred to as the Gospel of Prayer, among other sub-themes. We see that in today's Gospel. The very first line, notice that Jesus went apart from his followers, went to the mountain to pray all night long. What was he there for? He was getting to make a very, very important decision. His key leaders he chose to call apostles, those that would be sent out beyond his small circle of disciples. He recognized that this choice was going to have a great effect, not only on the present reality, but in the future reality of his followers. And so he went where he knew he'd find the strength, the wisdom to do that. This is what we can take from this gospel. To remind that whenever we have an important decision to make, not just to make a snap decision and say, well, I'll just go with this, I'll see what happens, we'll let it unfold, but to take it seriously that God is interested in the details of our life, especially important decisions. So often as Catholics we talk about praying for vocation discernment. Well, yes. What about all the other decisions we have to make? That at some level can be equally important. Now, I'm not talking about you need to pray about what should I have for dinner tonight. But the type of things that influence your life, that deeply grab you at the level of your soul. That yes, this is why we set aside time to pray. We might not just get an answer that floats down from heaven, but that we slowly begin to have the heart of Jesus. That truly came to know the Father of the will. To know the Father's will in such a way that it was an intimate relationship. And so it is to be with each of us. That our prayer life is not meant to be jerky, stopping and going depending upon whether we feel like it or not, but it's regular growing and deepening relationship. When that happens, look what takes place. After Jesus has made his decision, wow, all of a sudden this power began to emanate from him in such a way that people could see results of it. They could sense it in such a powerful way. People from all around the area came to be with him, to listen to him, to have him touch them, to be healed, to be liberated. And there's a certain truth to this. Once you're, quote, in the zone of knowing God's will, you sense a different power. You sense a different presence emanating from you. The way you look at people, the way you relate, you realize there's something more here. That more is called the Spirit. And so as we listen to this wonderful pastor of Luke, we recognize that he has pulled out for us this wonderful story to remind us that as disciples of Christ, we are to be people of prayer. Not just when we feel like it, but especially when we have decisions to make. And to recognize that God has imbued us with God's own Spirit, and that we share the effects of that wherever we go. What we say, what we do, the attitudes that we carry. For this is how we proclaim the good news of Jesus.